Welcome to the Money Barista podcast in the virtual cafe where coffee meets money. This is your host, Kerry Zarb, the Money Barista, and together with Kim White, we bring you weekly episodes to talk about the beans in your business. How would you like to be in control of your business finances? Step inside the virtual cafe with us for these convos where we share our experience with you. So what are we waiting for? Come on, let's go. It's coffee time. Welcome to episode 200. Yay!
Crowd goes wild. I'm so proud of you, Carrie.
This is amazing. This feels like this is one of those wow moments of 200 episodes. And let me say this, Kim, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that have done, 300, 400, 500, all the other hundreds, and it's just not a big deal. There must be so many podcasts out there that have hit 200 episodes, and it's probably normal. Is it normal? Is it just me? I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there, and I'm going to say hitting 200 podcast on one podcast, first off, because you are way over 300 episodes if you count all the podcast episodes you've been in or hosted or produced. But I'm going to say this is like a lifetime because the majority of podcasters never make it to episode 10. Very few make it to episode 50. Even fewer make it to their 100. And then here you are, you're rocking on 200 on this podcast, plus 100 and I don't even know what the 100 plus is outside of this podcast. You are a rock star podcaster, and I know you've been fussing at me for 3 years, over 3 years now, because I've said this from the beginning. You're such a rock star podcaster. It should say, stop saying that. No, but it's the truth. It's the truth, Gary.
Well, Kim, I don't know what to say to that other than, yep, I'm addicted. I'm absolutely addicted to podcasting. You and I now podcast together on this show and Buckets and Boom Gates, and we might be so addicted that we're even talking about another one, but I feel like we're having a party way too often. And when I say way too often, that's not a bad thing, but at the same time, part of me is I feel like we're just constantly celebrating these milestones, and that feels odd, that feels weird, but at the same time, I think it's kind of okay for that to feel odd and weird at the same time. So, I don't know, Kim. I will say one thing. I do have a cup of coffee. I'm pretty happy about that. I've got my coffee. Yay.
So that's a big celebration moment right there. Carrie loves her coffee, and that you couldn't give her anything better than coffee for her celebration. And Carrie, I have to say congratulations, because this podcast has been going quite a while. It's evolved. I want to say that, but your heart hasn't changed one bit in the fact that you have always been here to help other entrepreneurs with their business, with what they need to know, with their finances, getting in control of their finances, which is extremely rare. I'm going to say that. We know too many people who are not in control of their finances, and your heart really hasn't changed in all of that. You're still here every week, putting it out there, and we use the phrase broken record. We feel like sometimes we feel like a broken record, but there are still people asking questions, Carrie. There are still people needing to know what you're sharing. So I, for one, need you, and I am thankful for what you bring to the virtual cafe, because we are recording in the virtual cafe, and it's important, Carrie. It's important to follow that passion.
Well, Kim, I've actually discovered I have, I don't know how many passions now. I'm kind of losing count. However, right this very moment, I have 3, and those 3 passions are coffee and money. So we all know the virtual cafe is where coffee meets money. Then there's the swearing, Kim. I have to bring in the swearing. I gave myself, do you remember this, Kim? I gave myself a personal swearing challenge towards the end of last year. I don't feel like I've really kept my word to myself on this one. And I'm also on a bit of a mission for this episode, Kim, because I have on a sticky note over here that says, make Kim swear. That has been a mission for the last 3 years, is to get Kim to swear. And I think a couple of times she might have. I think there has been the odd slip because she spent way too much time with me. So that's the 3 highlights of today, Kim. We're probably not really going to talk too much about money, let's be real. However, there is coffee, there is money, and there's definitely swearing.
So, Carrie, I think it's so funny because everybody out there who is listening only, if they're not seeing video, you have to understand Carrie and I are on Zoom a lot every week in all of the mastermind groups and all of the places that we meet up. But one of the funniest things is I know better. If Carrie's on mute, I look away because Carrie's going to be swearing. And if I watch her, I think I am afraid I am going to read her lips out loud, which is going to be the swearing. So she has done that to me intentionally multiple times, trying to trick me into like cussing. And y'all, I don't have any trouble with cussing. Like, it's not that I have anything. Carrie can cuss all she wants. It's just something I choose not to. So we have a funny between us that y'all need to just know. Carrie's on a mission. That's her life mission, is to get me to out loud. So.
Let me say this, Kim, feel like I need cameras in my house or a GoPro on my head, connected to a microphone, of course, because my everyday life is full of swear words. And I'm not talking the really ugly ones, I can't say never. I rarely use the really, really nasty ones. And I don't swear at people. It's never a case, it's not ugly in that respect. I just get so passionate about things, and I just get fired up about things that it is just normal. It's just normal for the words to come out, and I don't probably even notice them, to be honest. But I'm not one of those people that every second word is a swear word. It's not ugly, it's not horrible, and I've done it a few times on this show. It's marked E, just in case, because it just happens. But it's just so normal, and it's so me. But at the same time, I don't feel it's needed everywhere. There are plenty of times that we hang out and none of those words will come out of my mouth. We do the BBG podcast, and sometimes I slip up and we fix that. But I cannot swear. I don't know. I feel like if I don't, then I'm not being me, but then I don't want to be one of those people that overdoes it. So anyway, you're here tuning in to the Money Barista podcast. It is all about money, not today. Yes.
Oh, I think it is, Carrie. I'm going to back up something that you said, though, and I'm going to bring it back to money for a minute, because you have a jam-packed client roster. You are maxed out on clients. You do such a phenomenal job. People want to hire you because of all the things that you do for other people that they know. So this is part of the reality of this. But Carrie takes care of the money for other businesses and other people the way she would for her own self. And I get tickled because if something upsets you, and I'm talking to the listener for a minute, if something upsets you and you get upset and you cuss because you've got some bank charge that came up you weren't expecting, or somebody didn't deposit a check they were supposed to, or any kind of financial anything, you didn't make enough money this week in your business to do what you wanted. I'm just giggling because that will bring the swearing out of Carrie, and it's not even her stuff. She is very adamant that I'm going to call it protect. She protects the innocent. That's what I'm going to call it. And sometimes we're not so innocent. But I feel like that is a big deal, Carrie.
Well, and I don't even mean to, Kim. I would love to be, and I've had this thought a lot, I would love to be one of those humans that just, gets in, gets the job done and checks out and all the things. Can't help it. I actually can't help it. I try not to be, I don't even try not, I don't know what to call it, Kim, but there's just something ingrained in me that when I log into, a client file and I'm looking at their beans, I treat it as if it's my own. If something's not being paid, why didn't you pay me? And it's not me. It's not, the money's not coming to me. It's going to the client. But I just get so personal about it. And then that's when some of the little cuss words might come out. Anyway, so I don't mean to be like that. I don't. And it's definitely not that I don't want to be like that, because I'm kind of happy that I am like that. Well, I'm actually more than happy that I am like that. So I can't help it, Kim. But hang on. I saw what you did there. You just completely got around the whole Kim swearing thing, because going back to that for a moment, I feel like there has been times when I've been on mute and I've, done the swear words and done the whole, thing, and then you've been on mute at the same time. I reckon you've repeated it. I reckon it just hasn't been caught yet. That's what I reckon.
Many thousands of hours as we spent together, Carrie, I'm giggling that that's your mission still, because it's all about the numbers, y'all. And she said this before, she just needs one cuss word
Just give me a little shit. I'll be okay with the shit. You do. Here we go. Here's an exercise, Kim. You say shh, and I'll do the it. Then you haven't done it. How about that?
So let me just giggle and say, with all the AI out there, I'm surprised you didn't just make it up and make me say it like from AI, like pretend.
I could have. I really could have, but that's not the same, Kim. You can't make this shit up. Like that's not right. That doesn't fit. That's them pretending that you did, and AIing that you did, and you can't.
Harry, I'm proud of you for your 200 episodes. I'm going to go back to that. And I am so proud of you for saving the community so much money. This is part of the podcast, like what I'm going to call magic that you do. You are great at producing the podcast. You're great at all that. I want y'all to know I show up and ask questions. That's my role. And Carrie, is the rock star in all of this. But 200 episodes, Carrie, I cannot say anymore, loudly, how proud I am that you didn't quit along the way, because it's easier to quit than to keep going. And all of this time you have been giving everyone so much information. If y'all haven't listened to past episodes and you're new to the podcast, I'm going to suggest you go back and listen, because there's a lot of gold in this podcast.
Well, Kim, thank you for all of that. No, I didn't pay her to say any of those. And bullshit, I'm going to call bullshit, because you've been here for now over a year on this podcast.
Asking questions, Carrie, asking questions.
No, that's just rubbish. No, because you've been here with me. You've been invested in this podcast. You've been invested in the conversations. You have asked questions, but that's not all you do. And just a little, and I just get a, can I? She's trying to avoid it. You guys are picking up. You see what's going on here.
So back to the money and coffee in the virtual cafe, Carrie.
God, she's doing it again. She's trying it again. And so obviously, she's not even trying to hide it now. Oh my God.
I would like to ask a question of you who is listening today. If you have any questions that you haven't already asked Carrie or sent to Carrie, please send your questions, because Carrie is so good at answering them that it helps all of us learn when even other people ask questions. I ask questions that are sent in, Carrie, or that you are asked, and I think it's exciting because I get to hear the answers too. So there you go, Carrie. Sweet listener to the Money Barista podcast, especially if you're a cusser. Let me say that, especially if you're a cusser. Send those questions in, cuss words and all, and Carrie will do her best to answer them. I won't repeat them though.
No, yes, please send in the questions. Then you have to. This is it. This is the way we're going to get you, Kim. I like this. Yes, please send in your questions, cuss words and all. You can send it to us via the show. Send them in.
Oh my goodness, Carrie, you make me laugh so hard.
I'm going to get you. I'm definitely going to get you. I'm not resorting to AI. I'm going to get you. It will happen.
I appreciate everybody being with us in the virtual cafe today, as Carrie is being quite ornery today with me.
Just waiting for it.
Thank you, Carrie Zarb, for being amazing and being a rock star.
Still waiting. I got all day. I'll keep waiting.
So we're going to say goodbye to you, listener, the virtual cafe without any cussing on this side of the mic. Carrie, I think you should send us off in a cuss word-filled celebratory way to let everybody know how excited you are that they are here with us.
I am really excited that everyone's here, Kim. I'll be even more excited when I get this cuss word out of you, but I will say this has been, so far, an awesome ride. The ride continues, by the way. This is not the end. We might have hit 200. We're not about to, drop off. But I think that stay tuned for Kim's cuss word, because it is coming, peoples. It is definitely, it's on my list. I'm on a mission. However, I do want to say that we are definitely here in the virtual cafe every single week. The podcast continues. It's been an epic ride. I appreciate everyone's support and everyone that tunes in. I see you. I see you in the numbers. Don't you worry about that. And I'm just excited to continue to help people find their way with their business finances, Kim. So that is another mission, as well as Kim's cuss word. Don't worry, it's coming.
We appreciate everybody being here, and thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you. We will cuss with each other next week. Thank you for joining us in the Virtual Cafe studio for this convo about business finances. This production is brought to you by the Money Barista, Carrie Zarb. You can follow the show to be notified of future episodes, and if you're enjoying this podcast, we encourage you to leave a rating or personal review. Until next time, happy biz beans to you. No beans were harmed during the production of this podcast. Information contained in this podcast should be taken as general advice only, and your personal circumstances have not been taken into account. It is recommended that you seek financial advice from a professional who is licensed to do so. If you choose to act upon the general advice shared, you do so at your own